Hello, welcome to Godfather Barbecue in Italian. Today, we're making something so outrageous and so simple, you're going to be the talk of the town. And it's, like I say, the simplest thing you could ever make. You're going to look like the pit master of all time. We're going to do pork belly burnt ends, okay? I'm sure you've all had or heard of brisket burnt ends. These are like that, but on steroids, okay? So basically, what I've got here is this is about a 7 pound piece. It was 10, and I used some to make sausage with. So I figured we'd get two cooks out of this and do some burnt ends and make a video. Okay. So what I'm going to start with your ingredients. You're going to need your favorite rub. I like to use something sweet. I like to make these Kansas City style because that's where burnt ends originated from. So I've got Meat Church Honey Hog rub, and it's simple ingredients. Just some regular honey, brown sugar, butter. I've got Three Little Pigs Kansas City sweet sauce. Again, I'm keeping it Kansas City themed. Use whatever sauce you like, okay? If you want to add, some people like a little hot and sour with this, or say hot and savory, sweet and savory. Do however you like, but these are all the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need a little rack you don't need one. You can put them right on the grill. I use a little rack after I chunk this up. Makes it easier to take off and on the grill. We're rolling on my big green egg today. Going to roll this 275, and I'll get into the cook when we get there. First thing you'll notice if you want to come in with this pork belly is it does have one thin side running down. These are skinless, okay, meaning that the rind is off, but you still have a fat cap on the other side. But if you see here, this is really thin, so I'm going to get rid of this, and by the time I trim this out, we're going to have about 5 pounds here. But again, this is one of those recipes. There's no specific measurements for anything. You're just going to cover it with rub, and then top it with honey, brown sugar, butter, and then sauce it to your liking, okay? I'm going to cut these into about 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. They are going to shrink when you cook them, so keep that in mind. You hear a lot of 1 by 1 out there, but I just tend to think they come out too small after they're done cooking. So let's start here and take a look at what this leaves us. Still going to need a little more there. I don't want to have just one piece of fat for a burnt end, okay? All right, there we go. We're good. So we're starting to get into that. So I'm going to take the strip. I'm going to cut them into strips first. So this looks like we can get 3. Make sure you have a good sharp knife and cold meat to work with. Always the winning combination. Okay. Then I'm going to come across, cube them about the same size as the width. These are going to be beautiful. Again, they look big, but you'll see at the end of the day, they're going to be fine. Okay. Perfect. This one's a little big. I may make 2 out of this one. There we go. Make sure they're all separated. These ones I may just cut. Okay. All right, so next thing we're going to do is get these seasoned up. I don't use any binder on this. You don't want to really add any oil to bacon, to pork rather. It's already fatty enough. So we're just going to go in, make sure we season all sides with rub. Okay, and I'm just going to come across to the top side first. Got to pat in. I'll flip them over. Okay, we got the back side. Then a pat. We'll get the sides. Now, you don't have to do it this way. I mean, you can just mix it all up in a bowl or whatever, but since there's such a small amount here, I like kind of just making sure we get a good coat on all sides. Okay. Just check them all, make sure they're good. Give them a roll. All right, those are looking good. So I'm going to let these, while my pit is coming up to temp, I'm going to let these sit for at least 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. Let this rub do its job. You'll see when we come back, it'll start pulling the moisture out and they'll be glistening, and we'll get them on the pit. We'll see in a few. All right, so we're back. It's been about 15 minutes. You can see these are the rub's starting to do its job. I put them on a rack just for the ease of getting them on and off the grill. You really don't want to do this if you can avoid not having to flip these on, or put them on and off a grill individually. You're going to have problems with your temp, regulating it up and down, no matter what type of smoker you're using. I am using the Green Egg, as I said, so I did put these fat cap down because it's going to be cooking a little closer to the source of the fire, even though there's a plate deflector in there. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I don't think so, but it's just a habit of mine when I'm cooking close to that deflector that I do things fat cap down on that particular smoker. So we will see you at the grill in a few. All right, so we're at the pit, rolling right at 275. I got the Flame Boss in charge. Can't beat it. If you can, check them out. They're really good and worth the money. They are a little expensive, but they're okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. One thing I did want to mention too, if you can, with this particular cook, use a drip pan. These get really messy. It'll save you at the end of the day, big time. Just going to get this in here. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to let these roll for 2 hours, and we'll see you back then. All right, we're back at the pit, 2 hours, a little over 2 hours in. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm looking for tenderness here, not temperature. They got a nice golden brown on them, and they are going, I just want a slight amount of resistance. These are perfect. Okay, because we're going to continue to cook them. These are beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to pull these off, bring them in the house, and we'll go over the next step. All right, so we're back inside. Maybe get the lights a little better now. These look absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to go ahead and see how they shrunk up too. The other thing I didn't mention, make sure when you put them on your grate that you do leave at least a little room in between so the smoke can get in and out. I'm going to put these in, lay them down. These smell unbelievable. This first side's happening here. Look at that. Okay. And I am going to add our brown sugar. And I mainly just do a coat. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 3/4 of a cup, but whatever you like. And I just want to come over, get it a light cover. I would say on this particular amount, about 3/4 of a cup probably. But again, you like it sweeter, what more? You don't like it at all, don't use it. Then I'm going to come with some honey. I'm going to give it a drizzle. Got to get every piece a little bit. Oh, the smell. Okay. And then I've got a 1.5 sticks of butter cut up here. We'll see how this looks. I may not use it all, but it's looking like I will. Okay, and I'm just going to hit this with a little more rub. Not much, but just give it a kiss. Perfect. Just going to cover this with some heavy-duty aluminum foil. And this is going to go back on the pit about 1.5 hours. We'll check on it then. We'll see at that point. All right, so we're back. This has been on for 1.5 hours. Take a look, see what we have. Smells, I can smell it already. Unbelievable. Wow.
Good.
It looks and smells.
Momo thinks so. Smells good anyway.
Momo, it's not ready yet, honey. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is these, oh, they're so tender. I'm just going to gently roll these around in the juices that it's been kind of basting on. They've been basting in, just to help with the little sheen. So it gets not only pork candy, but eye candy. And then I'm going to put them into a fresh pan, sauce them. Oh, wow. You smell that?
Yep.
The butter, I can smell the butter, the brown sugar. Wow.
Almost ready.
I bet. All right, so we're going to get these in this pan, minus the juices. Again, I do want to roll them around in that. Take some of it with you. See how much they've shrunk up. It's amazing how that happens. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this rendered down goodness and just coat it. Maybe about 1/4 of it. And we're going to sauce it. Very important to either warm your sauce up or have it, your barbecue sauce, or have it at least at room temperature. And you could even, if you want to go that far, put it on the stove and mix in a little of that juice like I just did here, but we'll end up manually doing that at the end. So I'm just going to coat this with a fairly moderate coat. And then we're going to get it back on the pit, unwrapped, so it'll caramelize. Excuse me. We're going to go between 30 and 45 minutes. I'll look at it in 30 minutes, see what it looks like. And then we'll bring it in, let it rest, and we'll be having some pork candy at that point. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it back on the pit just like that, and we'll see you in about 45 minutes. All right, so we're back 45 minutes later, finally done. It feels like, I don't know why, but this cook's been going on forever, and it really hasn't. I don't know, 6, 7 hours maybe in that range. I have to do the math, figure it out. But let's see what we got. Oh, goodness. I mean, you couldn't paint a better picture. Look at that. All right, it's starting to rain out here. I'm going to get these in, and I'll see you in the house. All right, so we're back. These are unbelievable. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to use my hands for this. And I do have hot gloves underneath here, so I'm just going to gently move these around, get them... Oh, the smell, the feel is just... They cook just perfect. They're tender, but they're not falling apart, but I can tell. And that's the perfect size. See, I mean, this thing was twice the size almost when we started, so look at those. I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about these. Put a little one out there so it can cool by itself, but I'm surprised the Museum of Fine Arts isn't down here trying to get a picture. They probably will be after.
Surprised Momo's not here.
But I mean, folks, there it is. Simple, delicious. I'll be back to give it a quick taste test, but let's recap what we did to this point. The ending, really, other than tasting it. Pork belly, about 5 pounds, ended up being. Cubed it up about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Seasoned it with some rub. I used Meat Church Honey Hog, which is really good, sweet. Rubbed it, put it on a rack, put it out on the pit at 275 for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Probed it. Once it was probed tender, brought it in, put it in a half pan, added brown sugar, honey, and butter to it, covered it, back out on the pit for about 1.5 hours, and brought it back in, took it out of the pan it was pretty much braising in, put it into another half pan, put a little bit of the braising liquid that it was in into this one, maybe about 1/4 or so, sauced it, and put it back out on the pit. Same deal, 275 for 45 minutes. And that's what we get. While I'm here, I'll just give it a shot and call it a day. Oh. Look at that. It's like a pillow of goodness, of candy. Wonder why they call it meat candy. Anyway, that's a wrap. Please give this a shot. Let me know. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It means a lot to us. Costs you nothing. We'll see you in the next one.